afternoon and thanks for joining me on Soccer Rocks right here on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. My name is Baba Tando. Now let me tell you briefly what we'll do on Soccer Rocks. You know that the AFCON tournament is ongoing in Equatorial Guinea, and so definitely there will be some interest there because the Black Stars of Ghana are in there, and indeed they will be playing today. But then we'll be taking a general overview or a general look at what's happening in Equatorial Guinea concerning all the 16 teams. We'll be doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and of course we'll also be getting into the teams to get one or two details that of course you'll not get from anywhere else. No TV station, no radio station, no online platform, nowhere but right here on Soccer Rocks with me, Baba Tando. Now let me go straight also and talk to you about the agenda for the day. The Black Stars are in action against the Teranga Lions of Senegal later today. It's fully down here on my agenda. I've got who and who are starting for both sides. I'll let you know that a bit in a bit as the show rolls up. And of course I would want you as much as possible to be a part of the show, and you know how you can do that on social media. Please, if you have my WhatsApp number, don't. If you have my phone number, don't send me any WhatsApp or any private message on WhatsApp because I will not read it. You want to send me a message, you can do that on Facebook, and all you have to do is just go to facebook.com/joynews on TV. facebook.com/joynews on TV. And it's amazing how many messages I've already received. We're just finding out from you, what is your take on the ongoing AFCON? And of course, you can also send in your predictions. I didn't add that to the Facebook thing, but already a lot of you are sending in your predictions. So do well. I will read each and every one of them for you. So like I said in my intro, we're going to be doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I have one guest who will be joining me here on the show. He's from England. He's a physiotherapist. He's actually here in Ghana on what does he call that? Okay, when he comes, he will tell us about that charity mission. He will tell us that he's a white man. And just in case you're wondering why it's AFCON and I'm bringing in a physiotherapist from England, don't worry. We will explain all of that as the show wears on. Enough of the talk. Let's get to some action on our screens right now. Behind the scenes, insert number one. Who said the Black Stars could not dance? And who said if you were not born and bred in Ghana, you could not dance? Check out Kwesi Appiah. He's part of the team who will be playing this afternoon. You think that because they are so stiff and all they do is run, they are not flexible enough to do certain things. But hey, they do a lot of things that we would rather not expect them to do. But like I said, your messages are already pouring in. A lot of you are predicting. Sheikh Ambassador Umar Husseini says Ghana 2, Senegal 0. Edu Say FIFA boss says you're actually answering the fact. You are actually telling us what you take on the AFCON, and you say so far so good. Prosper Silencer Ati Chogbe says Ghana Black Stars 2, Senegal 0. I wish Captain Asamoah speedy recovery and the entire team best of luck. Go Black Stars goal. This is coming from Samuel Brian Boabing. Alhassan Ali Sabato says Ghana 2, Senegal 1. Cornelius says Cornelius, you are asking when the game will be played. It's actually going to be played today at exactly 4 p.m. and you should watch Multi TV. The game would actually be live here. Okay, now let me get talking. I think I've been doing this alone for a long time. Let me get into the studio and speak with my guest for today, Steve Cutler. He is a physiotherapist based in England, but he's actually in Ghana for a charity mission, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. It's called the United Through Sports Ghana volunteer project. We'll talk about that in a bit. But Steve, you're welcome. Good afternoon to you.
Thank you.
You are supposed to have been here with Sarah Kayeha, but she refused to get on air. So
yeah, it's a bit shy.
Yes, we'll talk about her later. But you've been following the AFCON.
Yes, yeah. Watched most of them at the moment.
Mostly, okay. I mean, I need a very neutral view. How has it been so far?
It's been good. Gabon were good. I like that.
What about it has been good?
The quality is really good. It wasn't just it's not just the pace, it's not just the power, you know, which sometimes in Europe we look at African football to be just kind of pace and power. It's been really technically good. It's been really exciting. Even though there have been 3 draws, it's really exciting.
Did you see the opening ceremony?
Not much of it.
Not much of
the
it.
TV
but
wasn't
the
working.
little bit that you saw, how was it?
Looked really good.
Looked really good.
Colourful. Yeah, liked it.
So you think that you'd wake up one day when Africa can take over the World Cup, when Africa can take over, I mean, in terms of organization, that's what I'm talking about. In terms of that, you think Africa can beat the AFCON, or the Africa Cup of Nations can actually beat the World Cup? Maybe the Euros,
I
the
think
Asian...
it could compete with the Euros and the Asian ones, yeah. I think the World Cup's a little bit kind of bigger than most people, but definitely could compete with the Euros, yeah.
I see. All right, not too bad. All right, very soon we'll be taking our trivia for today. It will be on your screens pretty shortly. But Stephen is a physiotherapist, for which reason I would like to talk about this. Steve, actually, you know, most of the stadia that are being used for this particular tournament, they have synthetic pitches. What are the advantages and disadvantages of using a synthetic pitch as against a natural field?
It's not quite as a realistic game, I don't think. The ball bounces higher, but you know, it doesn't ruin as much, so you could probably play more games in a shorter space of time. In terms of injuries, there's not really much difference between the two, but you might think it might put more pressure on your joints sort of in the long run. So
if you use a synthetic pitch, it means you're not likely to suffer serious injuries?
The research says no.
The research says
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but the research says no, so I go with that.
Okay, but in your job, I mean, you've worked with people on natural pitches and on synthetic pitches. Which one would you love to work on more?
I like synthetic.
The synthetic?
Yeah, just because it's always the same. You know, it can be throwing it down with rain like it does in England 1 minute, or it can be baking hot the next minute. Either way, no problem, no difference.
And it should cost a fortune to have a synthetic pitch?
I think it's quite expensive. I couldn't give you numbers, but yeah, it's quite pricey.
Okay. So we've seen 2 games. We saw 2 games on Saturday, 2 games yesterday, so making it 4 in all. You've seen all 4 games?
3.
3 of them?
Not all of 3, but 3.
Okay, so the 3 of them, which one has so far been outstanding for you and why?
I thought Gabon looked really good.
The Gabon game?
Gabon, yeah. I thought just they looked technically very good. I'm told they did well last time, which I didn't actually realise, but yeah, they played very well, I thought. Aubameyang especially.
I see.
Was on form. Okay,
I'm sure you know 1 or 2 people from Gabon.
Yeah.
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Aubameyang, yeah.
And then who else?
They got a central midfielder from Europe, whose name I'm forgetting top of my head.
Okay, I won't blame you. You know the players who are from Europe, who are based in Europe.
Mainly Europe, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna come back to you, and then you tell us who you know from Europe and what you think they can add to this particular tournament. I mean, over the years we've seen the European-based players, or the Europe-based players are actually dominating when it comes to, you know, African tournaments and others that are also played in Africa. So we're going to get back to you so you tell us about that one. But let's take our trivia for today. It's coming up right on your screens. 2008 produced the most goals in a single competition in the history of the AFCON, with 99 goals in 32 matches, which means an average of 3 goals were scored per game. Yeah, so that's actually our trivia for this afternoon. An average of 3 goals per game, 99 in all 32 matches. Tell us, how would you describe the quality or standard of play of African football?
Standard is pretty high. It's getting higher and higher as well. You look at the amount of players playing abroad, playing in England, playing in Europe, and the African, especially Ghanaian league's getting better as well. I do a little bit of work with Hearts of Oak, and the standard there is quite impressive as well. So I think it's getting better and better. Okay,
he's talking Hearts of Oak because he's on practical attachment with them.
Was I not supposed to say that?
I wasn't supposed to say that. Okay, I take that back. Okay. Just so you know that I've really taken that back, let me just do a few messages. John Mensah Aidan says, if Black Stars players have the determination, they can win the game today. But if luck is not on their side, Senegal will beat Black Stars by 2-1. John Mensah Aidan, come with your message again. I don't really understand what you're trying to say. Is it that they will win or they will not win? Okay. Dawood Kasim says that so far the AFCON hasn't been bad, but we want to see more of good football from every team. Haven't you seen good football already?
I have. Yeah, I've been really impressed. Yeah, I think even Cape Verde who I'd never really watched before. Even they have some talented
Cape
players.
Verde are very stubborn. Yes, they are very stubborn. That much I can tell you. They've dealt with the Black Stars, I think on one occasion. Yeah, and they were not an easy side. They were not a walkover.
No, they look good.
So on any day, any time. All right. More of your messages. Hopefully the Black Stars will give us a good result today. Dawood Kasim, that's coming back. That's coming from you. I have nothing to say than to wish the Black Stars success. Salif Wanha, thanks very much. Ghana 2, Senegal 0. This is coming from Quarters Confidence. And Abbas calling says, we're wishing Black Stars the best of luck. Salif Wanha, you are again saying that Ghana will win. Francis Ejin Horber says, okay, you are not really too impressed with the Black Stars team. Fine. Anthony Enchi says, Senegal 2, Ghana 0. Nana Reku Broby the fourth says, because of the doom, so you don't think that Ghana will win today? Okay. Ahmed Mustafa says, Ghana 2, Senegal 1. Papa Ban says, you're asking if it has started. Make sure that you're watching Multi TV. The game will be live on the Joy Sports channel exactly at 4 p.m. Abu says Ghana 2, Senegal 1. Francis Gamolo Kumi says Senegal 0, Ghana 2. Go Black Stars, go. That's coming from you, Abu. And Alhaji Uguan Kariki says, so far so good, and inshallah Ghana will win today 1-0. Okay, so I'm sure we're starting the one goal project. That is okay. I'm gonna go to my second play of today, or for today. And you know, like I said, the Black Stars are going to be in action at 4 p.m. against the Teranga Lions of Senegal. And ahead of that, Samuel Inkum appeared on the Joy Sports link this Saturday, or last Saturday, and he had a few words of motivation for his colleagues. You remember that he was part of the provisional 31-man squad that Avram Grant invited for ahead of the AFCON tournament, and he was dropped. He couldn't make the short list of 23, so he's not part of them. But he's been talking about the team. He thinks that Ghanaians, or he's asking that Ghanaians forgive the Black Stars and forget what happened in Brazil and do well. Only through that can we do well when the tournament, or when we begin our campaign. But before Samuel Inkum comes in to tell us what he thinks of the Black Stars, let's do some camp updates. And the starting 11 for the Ghana team is up, and Coach Avram Grant has named his lineup for Ghana's opening group stage match against Senegal without Captain Asamoah Gyan. Remember that Captain Asamoah Gyan took ill last weekend. He went on admission in Mongomo on Saturday night, and he was released on Sunday morning. John Boy followed suit, but John Boy is back. But the two of them could not train with the team in their last training session, and so they are not going to be part. But let's see who are making the starting 11. Razak Baima, Harrison Aful, Baba Rahman, Awal Mohammed, Jonathan Mensah, Daniel Amate, Rabi Mohammed, Achiman Bidu, Christian Achu, Andre Dede Ayew, Jordan Ayew. They are starting for Ghana. Steve, let me come to you again. I asked a while ago if you knew any of the Ghanaian players. You heard the names I mentioned.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know any of them?
Yeah.
Who and who do you know?
The Ayew brothers, Christian Atsu, Badu as well. Atsu's very good. I like Atsu. Pacey.
I see. So Christian Atsu, you know Baba Rahman. He plays in Germany. He used to play for Greater Fürth, but he's moved on. You know, you followed him.
Yeah, I know of him. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you think that this team is really the one to beat Senegal this afternoon in Mongomo?
I think so.
Have you followed the Senegalese team?
Yeah, I know about them. Yeah, so I know they're lacking the two strikers mainly. So I think I think so. My heart says Ghana.
Okay. I see. That's great. That's great. That's great. Okay. So let's come back to you as a physiotherapist, but here on a charity mission in Ghana, right? Okay. But first of all, about your physiotherapy job. before a team actually plays such a huge match, I know there's a lot of pressure and everything for them to win, but let's talk a little bit about the physical aspect of it. What kind of training do they need?
Fitness is the sort of the predominant thing, because fitness is like an injury preventer in itself. So if you're fit, you're less likely to get injuries. There'll be lots of flexibility work, lots of sort of switching on mentally before the game as well. I mean, they'll have a team of people, masseurs especially, working with the team beforehand. But they'll be very fit coming from their clubs anyway, and obviously being in the middle of the most seasons as well. It's not like they're in an off season, so they'll be at the peak of fitness at the minute.
Wow. Okay, so fitness we know is very important, so that if a player is recovering from, say, malaria, Asamoah, our captain, he took ill on Saturday. John Boy also took ill on Sunday. You think that if they say they are okay, for instance, Jan, we know, has been ruled out, but had it been he hadn't been ruled out and our coach Avram Grant was still contemplating on whether to bring him or not, do you think it would have been okay to?
If he's got malaria, I would say you need to be rested. I mean,
For how long?
It depends on the severity. I wouldn't want to say, but I mean, if he's got malaria, if he was released Sunday, you said, then he shouldn't play today. Okay,
and I don't know if this is within your jurisdiction, but I still want to ask it anyway. The Black Stars had a training camp in Spain, which is a relatively cold area. I mean, they were in Seville, which is relatively cold, and then they are in Mongomo, a sharp contrast of the weather. Do you think it's in any way going to affect them?
I thought it was a bit strange. I think normally before a tournament, or if you're going to be playing in a hot country, you train in a hot country to get acclimatised. I would probably not in the space of 3 games, but you know, it's probably something to look at for an excuse if something goes wrong.
Okay, now if they finish playing today's game, considering the fact that you're using a synthetic pitch and all of that, what do they need to do to recover? First of all, your fitness and all the energy that is exerted, and I mean, in order to stay fit and strong enough for the next game on Friday, what regime do they need to go through?
Well, as I said, they'll all be pretty fit anyway, so it'll be a case of sort of cooling down properly, lots of hydration, lots of relaxation, a proper cool down, stretches especially, probably not a lot of fitness training before Friday. It'll be a case of probably tactical preparation more than anything else. In my experience, that's what it would be.
All right, now let me go on to the phone lines. I'm going straight to Mongomo, where my colleague Kwame Jumwajiman is joining me live on phone. He is going to be bringing us up to date or up to speed as to what's happening there. Kwame, good afternoon to you.
Hola, Rashida.
Have you learned any Spanish yet? So we don't do this chat in English.
Well, I've learned a few. I have learned to say hello, which is hola.
Hola,
and how are you doing? Yeah, how are you doing? That is ¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás?
And estoy bien.
Estoy bien, that is I'm fine.
Okay, so I think that's a few things.
That's great. Anyway, Kwame, I hope you're good. Let's.
You don't go for great. You're fine.
All right, let's cut to the chase. How is Mongomo breezing ahead of the Ghana-Senegal game?
Well, it's looking like a very good day here. You know, this is the first phase of the competition in this particular town. I wouldn't say it's because it's only a town of about 50,000 plus people. It's quite big if you're looking at its land size, but the locals aren't really too much into football. They are more into supporting quite a number of European teams. It looks like almost everyone that we have met is either a fan of Real Madrid or Football Club Barcelona. I don't know whether it's because the country was colonized by the Spaniards, but that's the feel you get from the locals. But we're looking forward to this game, obviously, because it's the first game that is going to be played in the city. Remember when we got the opportunity to host in 2012 together with Gabon? It was only Malabo and Asa who had the opportunity of sharing the glory. Now, they together with the other city called Ebidin are going to get an opportunity to host those games. So they are looking forward to it.
I see. Looking forward to it. So that do I think that by now the stadium is filled to capacity?
Well, from where I am, I'm not too far from the stadium, but from where I am, I can see a few fans are trickling in for the first game. Obviously, it's game after game. We are going to be playing first. We are playing the Senegalese, and then I think about an hour after that, the South Africans are also going to be in action against Algeria. So I can see a few people trickling in, quite a number of them, though, being students. That's what I'm seeing at the moment. But I'm sure with time, hopefully in the next couple of minutes, a lot more fans will be trickling into the stadium as well.
Where are the Ghanaian fans? The Ghanaian supporters, as we call them.
Ever since we touched down, you know, the Equatorial Guinea is in 3 parts. That's the island where you have the city Malabo, and then there is another island called Abobon, and then there is the mainland where we are at the moment. When we got to Malabo yesterday, we met some Ghanaian fans that we actually traveled with. And then when we got in town as well, there were quite a number of Ghanaians who actually live and work here, who are organizing themselves. So if the number of fans that we traveled with from Ghana, together with the number of fans who will be able to see here, is anything to go by. I'm sure we'll have a decent number of supporters at the stadium this afternoon.
Okay, so we heard earlier, I think late last week, that the president of Equatorial Guinea, His Excellency Nguema, had actually purchased 40,000 tickets. Is he bringing some to Mongomo? Is he giving? Are we benefiting? I mean, as in the Ghanaian supporters over there.
Well, Rush, from what I gather, it's even looking likely that it's going to be more because I've seen people trickling in. And what they do is very simple. They come in, they show some kind of ID card of sorts, and then they pick up the ticket. It's as simple as that. And I've seen quite a number of people come and go from, the media center picking their tickets. So if all these people are going to be showing up at the stadium, that's what I would want to believe. If all these people are going to be showing up at the stadium with the tickets that they have come to collect, I'm sure we would have a decent atmosphere at the stadium this afternoon.
Kwame, earlier when I spoke to you off air, you told me you were going through your accreditation process. Now tell me, what's the whole process like? I mean, how difficult, how clumsy, how fast? I mean, you describe it to me. Well,
compared to other African competitions that I have covered, I have noticed that this one is quite strict. I mean, if you don't meet the criteria that CAF has set for the organization this year, chances are that you're going to really find it very tough to get accreditation to cover the games. These guys are simply going by the letter of the law. And there's also challenge of language, so that even if you're trying to explain something to, any member of the local organizing committee, as long as it's very difficult to, literally, explaining yourself to this particular person, then it makes it a lot more difficult to even try to explain yourself. But of course, there are a few bilingual guys that we've met, some who can speak English, French, and Spanish, some who can speak a bit of English, a bit of French, and all that. So the process is relatively okay, but trust me, we are really being on accreditation for this year.
Finally, let me push you to the wall. You've seen the starting 11 that has been named by Coach Avram Grant. Is that a team for the kill?
Well, from what we have picked up since we touched down last night, I mean, you can imagine the senior national team going into action without certain key players in the team. But, I mean, let's face it, the team that we have assembled here, there's nothing we can really do about it. It's up to the guys to go out there and make us proud. And, of course, it's also an opportunity for you guys who are going to be playing in the absence of the injured and sick players to stake a claim for themselves. As and when they prove it, we remember the case of John Boye in 2012 when Isaac Bossa was not available for selection as a result of suspension. He's literally made that position his own thing. So you never know. It's you guys to stake a claim and make this position your own.
Kwame, prediction.
Obviously I'm Ghanaian. You don't expect me to say the start.
Definitely. I know as a Ghanaian you would predict with your head and with your heart. So both predictions. Your head.
I'm looking forward to a Ghana result, but of course you and I know that the Senegalese are a very, very strong side. And going into a game like that without top, players, there's always a chance that the results would end up funny. But obviously I'll be rooting to come.
I didn't get your prediction quite clear. What's the final result?
Well, I am rooting for Ghana.
I know you're rooting for Ghana, but give me a result. Give me a scoreline. Don't worry, I won't come chasing you if it doesn't go your way.
I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of games, especially when we're not playing with all our top stars. If we manage to just get a goal and shut up shop, I think it would play very well for us. It's going to be a very close game.
Thank you very much, Kwame Jumajim, and we'll get to you in our subsequent episodes on Soccer Rocks right here on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. Now, let me just go straight to some graphics that will be appearing on your screens shortly. I've told you already that we've played, so far we've played 4 games in this competition. We saw the opening game, we saw the second Group A game, we've seen the games from Group B. So let's check out first the Group A matches, the results. So in Group A, we saw Equatorial Guinea join 1-1 with Congo. Emilio Nsuye scoring for Guinea and Thierry Bifuma equalizing for Congo. Burkina Faso, the very first side to have lost in this particular tournament, 2-0 against Gabon. And of course, for Gabon, we saw Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scoring the very first goal for them. Group B results, Zambia 1, DR Congo 1. Zambia scored after 57 seconds into the game. Given Singuluma did that for them. And then we saw... Okay, so Group B, Tunisia 1, Cape Verde 1. Tunisia scored first through Mohamed Al Monser and then held on, equalized through a penalty for Cape Verde. So the standings. Group A, Gabon on top with 3 points. Congo, Equatorial Guinea with 1 point apiece. Burkina Faso 4th on the table with no points. Remember, they've all played 1 game. It's only Gabon who have won so far. I think they are the only side to have won any game so far, Steve. They are the only country to have won any game so far. All right, so those are the standings for Group A. We'll see the standings for Group B also in a bit. So this is Group A. Let's see what's happening in Group B. Cape Verde, DR Congo, Tunisia, Zambia. So this has been done alphabetically because they all have the same number of points. They all have the same goal difference. They all have the same goals scored for and scored against. So it's just in alphabetical order. Cape Verde, DR Congo, Tunisia, Zambia for Group B. Today is the day. 4 p.m. The action is here. But let's check out the fixtures coming for Group A in a bit. The next fixtures for Group A. We'll see the fixtures for Group A in a little bit, but let me just give you a reminder of the starting 11 for the Black Stars for this afternoon. Razak Brahma, Harrison Affle, Baba Rahman, Awal Mohammed, Jonathan Mensah, Daniel Amate, Rabi Mohammed, Emmanuel Ajiman Bedu, Christiana Chu, Andre Dede Ayew, Jordan Ayew. I'm already choosing my man of the match. I think he'll be Zip. Okay, so we've seen what has happened so far in all the 4 games that have been played in the tournament so far, and just a little bit of updates from this tournament. Zambian midfielder Nathan Sinkala has been ruled out of the AFCON 2015 after suffering a knee injury in their game against DR Congo yesterday. Remember that Zambia were in action against DR Congo on Sunday yesterday, and Nathan Sinkala has been ruled out for the rest of the tournament. What kind of a knee injury could that be that could rule him out of the tournament?
Oh, it could be anything. Could be a ligament. Could be hard to say.
That's a big blow. Certainly a big blow for them. All right. All too soon, I've got to be wrapping up, but I can't do that without talking about the Ghana Volunteer Project, United Through Sport Ghana. Steve, you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so it's a project that we live in a house. We've got 44 talented footballers and tennis players, all from all around Ghana. Okay,
I have one tennis player for you. She's my daughter.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
we'll
she's just 7 months. So sign her up.
Pre-contract. But so they're sort of the best of the best, really, and we sort of ensure that they get a good education. We have teachers coming from England as well as from Ghana, We have football coaches, tennis coaches, and we just ensure that they get the best kind of education and coaching that they can get to give them a real chance and a real sort of head start.
Okay, so my daughter is joining your project as a tennis player. I think she'll be the youngest because she's barely 7 months. She's not 7 months yet. So.
She'd definitely be the youngest.
Steve Cutler is a physiotherapist who is based in England, but he's here in Ghana on a charity mission that we just spoke about, the Ghana Volunteer Project. Steve, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you again. I'm sure. Okay, Ghana, Senegal. I need a prediction.
With my heart or my head?
Both.
Heart, Ghana 2-0. Head, Ghana 2-0.
I still don't believe you. it took a long time to predict with your head.
1-1 in my head.
In your head, 1-1. In your heart, 2-0.
2-0.
Okay, so if Ghana doesn't win this game tonight, no problem. I'll deal with that one later. I'll deal with that one later. But I mean, that's all for today. We're going to be bringing you more. It's on every 2 p.m. on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get to meet some other journalists who are covering this tournament in Equatorial Guinea, so we'll get to speak to them live here. You'll get to see their faces and everything, so don't worry. There's a lot more coming up for you on Soccer Rocks on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. Meanwhile, thanks to every one of you who sent me a message on Facebook. I'm sorry I have not been able to read all of them due to the time factor, so do forgive me, but tomorrow I would ensure that I would read every one of your messages that you send me. My name is Baba Tando. I have a jersey for you, but it means that you have to come back onto the show, so I present it to you in front of everyone who's watching.
I'd like that.
Okay, so he has a jersey from me. I'm that generous, and thanks to this, he gave me this one. Thanks. My name is Baba Tando. That's it for Soccer Rocks for today. A bientôt.